The United States' Stephen O'Mahony Schwartz began his Pro Tour career in the junior division of Pro Tour 1, but he was already a powerhouse in the competitive Magic scene.
He was a really great ambassador for the game, right? Wherever Steve showed up, people were happy to see him there, and he had a great time, whether or not he was playing or whatever he was doing, but he was a really good force for the community.
I was growing up in New England and traveling down to New York for some of the New York Magic $1,000 tournaments, which were the big events before there was a Pro Tour. And even back then, there were pretty much two people who you didn't want to play against. One of them was Jon Finkel, and the other was Steve Omas.
He was playing in the Masters division by Pro Tour Columbus and has been eligible for induction since the formation of the Pro Tour Hall of Fame.
I mean, my only question is what took so long? He's the only player who has a win, a second, a third. I mean, I remember the win because he beat me, and I don't know, like 4 Grand Prix wins, and he's just sitting there not in yet. But finally this year he made it.
O'Mahony Schwartz posted multiple top 32 finishes before his breakthrough second place finish at Pro Tour Mines, where he developed a reputation as one of the game's most formidable limited players. He cemented that reputation when he won Pro Tour Los Angeles 1 year later at a star-studded final Rochester draft table.
Our decks just came together beautifully, and the other side of the table was a bloodbath, man. It was ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I was in the top 8 of the Pro Tour that he won, and I witnessed him orchestrate a master plan during the Rochester draft, where he successfully wove this situation where his neighbors ended up playing the exact right colors so that he could have all the cards to himself for 3 people's worth for his strategy.
As a member of Team Antarctica, along with brother Dan and Hall of Famer Jon Finkel, he picked up his 3rd Pro Tour top 8 in Washington, D.C.
Steve was very poised, very thoughtful about the game in many ways. Certainly, a tough player to play against. Certainly, we had a lot of classic matchups even in the early days.
Stephen's 2007 win at Grand Prix Massachusetts, long after he'd retired from the game, was his 4th in 10 top 8 appearances, and reminded Hall of Fame voters about one of the game's first superstars.
I mean, I remember thinking it was awesome when he, just came out of nowhere to win Massachusetts in 2007. It was like, oh, okay, by the way, I still exist, guys, and I'm going to crush all of you.
Steve's early Grand Prix wins in Madrid and Zurich marked the first time that players traveled overseas in search of pro points.
Steve goes, he wins Madrid, he wins Zurich. It's like all of a sudden the first wave of American players going over to Europe, and he was the guy that won those Grand Prix.
We started traveling to foreign Grand Prix together, and I was fortunate enough, I didn't have much money growing up, but my mom was a flight attendant, so my flights were free. Steve was always like, oh, you can stay in our room, so I got to stay with him and Dan because he really wanted me to be able to come to the Grand Prix and experience that. So I think without Steve, I wouldn't be where I am today in Magic or in life.
Steve, congratulations on getting into the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Brian.
How did you waited a while for this? How did it feel when you finally heard that you were going to be in the 2011 class?
An overwhelming feeling of satisfaction, like years of tension and close votes. Finally went my way. Not just a few votes short anymore. So I was definitely very excited. It's a great honor to be included with everyone else.
What do you remember about playing at your very first Pro Tour? I know you played at Juniors Division, Pro Tour 1.
Way back in the beginning at Juniors 1. I'm like, oh my, what is this? It was just, it was so different. I mean, I played in Magic tournaments before then in New York, but nothing so big and organized. And I just saw something I wanted to win. Make a long story short.
What's your favorite memory of playing on the Pro Tour all those years?
Honestly, I have so many great memories, so many great traveling. But I guess what really stands out was the first Team Pro Tour. I got a chance to play with my brother Dan and to play with Jon Finkel. And we made the top 4. We didn't win, we came in 3rd. And it was just, I already had won a Pro Tour, but me playing on the team, it was just, I think that was my best experience on the Pro Tour.
All right, show us that Hall of Fame ring.
Here we go.
Show us the ring. This thing is huge. What does it mean for you to be wearing that?
It's just, I don't know, a lot of pride, a lot of, Magic's been a big part of my life ever since it started, and even today, even though I don't, attend as many Pro Tours, it's just, a great honor, a great thing, and, I'm excited.
Well, good luck today at Worlds.
Thank you, I'm going to need it.